Welcome to December and welcome to my video game club. We're wrapping up the year this month with some incredible games. There aren't very many new video game releases for the holiday season this year, but I started this club to try to revisit and play a lot of old games that I've either overlooked or have just sat in the backlog for a while, so a sparing release schedule is perfect. I'm so excited to cozy up and get into this month's games, but first I want to talk a little bit about November's games. They were Diablo 4, Manor Lords, and Dragon Age Origins. Diablo 4 was a lot of mindless fun, but I think it'd be a lot more fun with a friend or two. Diablo 4 was great to jump into a random session here and there, and it's definitely a beautiful, dark game, but it just didn't catch the right vibe for me this month. It's a good game for sure, well made, and if you played it, I hope you had fun, but I probably won't revisit it until I'm able to play through with a buddy. I spent a lot more time with my little community in Manor Lords last month. It's got a great vibe and some fun, unique mechanics that really set it apart as its own thing. The seasons feel like they roll right along, and I can't wait till this game sees more development in early access. It was a fun game to dip into. Last, but certainly not least, is Dragon Age Origins, and Dragon Age Origins is a masterpiece. It gets the Bald Star of Excellence this month because I could not get this game out of my head. Of course, the recent release of Dragon Age Veilguard has put Dragon Age back in the collective consciousness, and while I'll reserve judgment on that game until I play it, there is no doubt that this series would not be here today if not for the incredible storytelling of Dragon Age Origins. Between its 6 different origin stories that each have an impact on the game's main story, the phenomenal world building, and the competent strategic combat, I just couldn't pull myself away from this one. Despite putting in over 60 hours, I've already made plans for how I would go about giving this game another playthrough, making different choices and playing as a different class. I rarely beat a game of this size and scope, so to have kept my attention for so long, Dragon Age Origins is a really special game. Now, after being absolutely spoiled by Dragon Age Origins, I'm feeling a little bit hungover in terms of video game playing this month, but I'm getting back up on that video game horse with Starfield, Bethesda Game Studios' highly notable and hotly anticipated AAA game that finally released in September of 2023. I pre-ordered this game originally out of my deep love and respect for Skyrim. I played just shy of 24 hours, and then I inevitably lost interest and dumped it to play some other video games. Now that it's had a little over a year of actual release time and my expectations have been tempered, I want to give this game another shot. Graphically speaking, this game is absolutely stunning, but the start of this game is kind of a slog. And before I was even an hour in, I was reminded of the obtuse scam planets for mineable materials gameplay loop. I was already dealing with the clunky fast travel to get from planet to planet instead of just getting to fly around, but once I made it to New Atlantis, I was pleasantly surprised by being able to access a map of the city. The game has seen some love since the last time I played. Because of these incredible graphics on that new engine, the snappy combat, the fresh and unique IP, and just the legacy of Bethesda Game Studios, I want to give this game a fair shake before I'm inevitably drawn back into Skyrim. I'll let you know how it goes.
No, I've done this routine. Let's skip to the part where you admit you're lying about what he owes.
You call me a liar? I'll throw both of you out of this bar right now.
Oh, please.
Next, I'm going to hit you with the AA game this month, Evil West. I picked Evil West because I've heard that it has sort of an old-school single-player console game kind of vibe, calling back to the Xbox or PS2 days. Its linear, handcrafted levels focus on gameplay over story. There really isn't any loot, and there definitely isn't any inventory management, which is refreshing after Dragon Age and with my parallel play of Starfield. I hold a lot of love for the simplicity of the original Xbox days, and in the couple hours that I tested out Evil West, it exceeded my expectations. Playing Evil West is like watching a B-movie. It's got an out-of-the-box idea, which is vampires in the Wild West, and it's very campy and over-the-top with gore. The voice acting and the dialogue are serviceable, but they do feel a bit uncanny and a little out of place some of the time. This certainly isn't Red Dead Redemption 2. While the combat is similar to God of War, Evil West isn't trying to reach that level of narrative poignance. What it is trying to be is some good, schlocky-ass fun, and I love it.
We need to stop!
Stop? We need to get the fuck out of here!
We need to find a defensive position to hold us over till morning. Then we head to Calico.
My wife could blow this defensive position over with a wet fart.
Finally, the indie game of the month is Spiritfarer. I've heard great things about the emotional storytelling of this game, and it's been sitting in my library for a while now, waiting for me to play it. In Spiritfarer, you play as Stella, a regular old human girl who gets assigned the titular role of Spiritfarer by Charon, the ferryman to the underworld. You go, find your own boat, and you meet your first spirit passenger who happens to be your sister Gwen. Gwen teaches you all of the basics of the game, how to build on your boat, how to get from island to island, and how to collect resources. I've played a few hours at this point, and I've collected 3 spirits, all who take the form of various anthropomorphic animals. Stella's sister Gwen is a deer, her uncle is a big fun toad, and I met a snake who knows my cat Daffodil somehow. All 3 spirits give Stella quests that mostly involve gathering resources to improve the ferry. But it's fun because they get really excited when you build something new, and they show you how to use it too. This game's art style is often compared to Studio Ghibli, and while that Ghibli je ne sais quoi isn't always present, I think it's a fair comparison most of the time, especially as you explore some of the beautiful islands that you find throughout the game. The gameplay loop involves sailing to a new place, fishing, gardening, and cooking on the boat as you make your way to the new location, and making sure your spirits are well fed, well taken care of, and happy. There are a lot of mini-games in this game. There was one where I was trying to catch lightning in a bottle by getting struck by lightning, one with a bunch of random jellyfish-type creatures, and even things like chopping down a tree have their own mini-game. These mini-games are fine, and the platforming gameplay is serviceable, but the reason I'm invested and willing to put time into Spiritfarer is the writing. The spirits and other NPCs I've encountered have all been very interesting, and I just want to make my spirits happy. I'm more than ready to be hitting the fields this month and see what Spiritfarer has in store for me. If you beat every game this month, it looks like it'll take about 82 hours, but your time in Starfield especially will vary widely. I don't always beat every game for the club, but I think I stand a pretty good chance this month. Each game is beautiful and brings its own exciting gameplay to the table this month. My only honorable mention for December is Dragon Age Origins Awakening. After beating Dragon Age, I really needed to get started with Starfield, Evil West, and Spiritfarer, but I'm itching to go back and play through the 15 or so hour DLC with my recently triumphant Grey Warden Rogue. As I've already said, Dragon Age Origins is a special game, and it resonated with me more than any other game in a long time. Anyways, whatever video games you decide to play this month, be they the ones with my club or whatever you like to play on your own, I hope your December is warm, cozy, and filled with excellent video games.